Hello and welcome back to the FPL Crypto channel. I hope all you fellow FPL managers had a better game week than me. It was basically game week 3 was very low scoring across the board, so even if you did have a bad one, you didn't lose too much ground in the grand scheme of things. I'm going to review game week 3 in this video, followed by a watch list update. If you have never watched this before, basically I just add and remove players' potential transfer targets based on performance stats, etc. I test. So that's coming up, and then after that I'll talk about my transfers. I've actually gone against what I was preaching last week when I said play the patient game, because I've actually taken a -4. So some interesting transfers to reveal after I update the watch list. And finally then I will show you my team lineup for game week 4. It's not, the asterisk is there on team lineup is because really I don't lock it in entirely until I've heard all the press conferences by end of day Friday, and I'm 100% sure then to say yes, done, locked, throw away the key. So let's move swiftly into the game week review. So game week 3, how did it go for you guys? For me, it was very, very average. In fact, I scored 44 points, which was 1 point more than the overall FPL average of 43. Game week rank right in the middle there, 3.1 million thereabouts. Overall rank then has dropped slightly to 79k, and then you'll see my 2020 rank. I'm trying to better. I'm trying to get into the top 1k this season. So if you want to hit the subscribe button there, you can follow me on my journey, my quest to get into that top 1k, the elusive top 1k for the first time. So starting from the back, Ramsdale got a few save points, lost his clean sheet very late in the day, which was quite frustrating for owners like myself. Trent Alexander-Arnold got his assist and 3 bonus points. Walker Peters got a clean sheet. Very unusual to see Southampton keep a clean sheet after conceding 5 goals the week before, but there you go. It's been a weird type of season so far. The Salah captaincy came through in the end in what was a very unsuccessful captaincy game week, because all of the top 5 really didn't get off the ground. None of them hit double digits. A solitary assist for Salah, given 5 points, which kind of matched another popular captain in Harry Kane, who also got 5. So not much ground lost, as I stated earlier. If you had a bad week like me, or even worse than the 43 average, then you didn't really it didn't really affect you too much in the long term view. Son was a casualty, so he looks like he pulled a hamstring or something, but Mourinho said he's going to be out for a while. He was pulled off at half time, so very disappointing 1-pointer for him. Kevin De Bruyne then, a disaster in terms of transfers, because my 2 transfers last week were Kevin De Bruyne and Daniel Podence. Podence actually was ruled out with a shoulder injury that Nuno didn't even reveal in the press conferences, so we were really shafted there, anybody who made that transfer this week. He ended up on the bench, and Burke came on. Ollie Burke got another 90 minutes or so and got 3 points. I came off my bench, so that was nice to get a little bonus there. Calvert-Lewin scored again. What a run this guy's on. He's just netted a second hat-trick of the season in the League Cup midweek and looks on fire in this new look Everton team. Team of Werner, very disappointing, and Mitrovic also disappointing. I'll talk more about Mitrovic when I look at my transfers. I've made 2 this week, as I've mentioned. On the bench then, Mitchell and Justin never even looked like coming on, so we'll put a plug in game week 3. Try and forget about it. Like me, I wasn't bounce off the bounce, the game week 2 bounce, and plummeted into a real low trough of just it was the same. It was abysmal game week, and one we'll all want to put behind. Let me look at the watch list then. So I'm just going to look at some notable additions, and actually a few of you guys have been asking me to put up my entire watch list after reviewing additions and removals, so I'll do that also in this video. Castagna really impressing. He's had a double price rise. He's 5.7 million, and I think he's 3 assists and a goal in the first 3 game weeks. Really impressive stuff by Leicester's new signing. He gets added to the watch list along with Coleman and Charlie Taylor. There's three wing backs going on. Mahrez and Foden. Mahrez and Foden are definitely in my thoughts, with that coming down to the fact that Man City have very few first team players right now. I think both should be considered for the short term, at least, with Aguero and Jesus now ruled out for a while. Charlie Taylor, as I mentioned. Martinez then, so he's been the star goalkeeper, really. He's only been playing for 2 game weeks, and he's already topping the goalkeeper points, basically down to his 2 clean sheets and penalty save. But he does look like an impressive shot stopper. So at 4.6 million, he is one to keep an eye on. And then Mane. I never had Mane on my watch list, and it's becoming quite evident that Liverpool are just an elite team that we should all be looking to have 2 or 3 of their assets. Just really reliable. Obviously, title champions, contenders again this season, and they just look really on the pace and on the ball these early game weeks. So I wouldn't rule out a triple up for Liverpool. That's why Man is on there. I already own Salah, so Man is one to add. The removals then. Furlong for West Brom. He actually got an assist this weekend, but West Brom are just shipping so many goals and conceding a lot of chances. So I just can't consider a defender for them. Tierney comes off for Arsenal. Doucouré and Soyuncu. I took Soyuncu off because at 5.5 million, I think if I was going for a lesser defender, I'd probably eye up a wing back, maybe the returning Pereira or Castagna. And then Doherty comes off, and that's based around the fact that he's not the same player that he was with Wolves. He's even admitted it himself. He's been made to kind of undertake a lot of defensive duties that he wouldn't have been responsible for at Wolverhampton. So I don't think the attacking appeal is there with Doherty in the same way that it was last season and previous seasons. And he's evidently, a lot of people agree, because he's dropped in price to 5.9 million, and he's not really in my thoughts at the moment. So yeah, that's it. They're the additions and removals. Let's look at the watch list overall then. I'll skip through this quick enough. Goalkeepers then, I have Pickford, Martinez and Ryan in there. Now, Ramsdale hasn't been doing much yet for me, and I do have a wild card in the back pocket, so I do have to consider goalkeepers at certain price points going forward. Defenders then, the Castagna, Robertson, Digne, Saiss, Coleman, Lamptey, Dallas and Ayling being both the wing backs for Leeds. Leeds kept their first clean sheet as well last game week, so and they're both very advanced and attacking minded fullbacks, so could be a really good option at 4.5. Reece James, Bowley and Charlie Taylor. Interesting to note there, my defenders, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 9 wingers, or whatever you want to call them, wing backs, full backs, right, left backs, and only 2 central defenders. So I think there's a lot to be considered, especially with the lack of clean sheets this season. Getting some attacking returns is going to be much more important now in a defender. In the terms of the midfielders, then we got Mane, Zaha, Klick, Harvey Barnes, James Rodriguez, Trossard, Fernandes and Maddison. Maddison got a goal and assist off the bench for Leicester's shock win against Man City. So at 7 million, he could be a great option. Harvey Barnes then, he's going to get a mention later on. Klick, 5.6 million, penalty taker. Does he produce more than just penalties? Yes, he scored from open play as well in game week 1. And Zaha is playing out of position. So there's a lot of good potential there in the midfield section. Continuing on then, we got Mahrez and Foden, who've been just added. Diangana, Soucek, Neto, Rashford, Sterling and Grealish. Oh, and then Greenwood is the last guy in there. He's price dropped to 7.4 million. Still a very good option, but Man United haven't hit stride yet. So forwards then, we got Vardy, Bamford, Kane, Mopé, Richarlison, Ings, Wilson, Jimenez, and topping off the forwards, Wood and Martial. Right, so I'm just going to go straight into my team reveal for game week 4. So I've made 2 transfers. I've got rid of Heung-min Son because he's injured. That was a no-brainer, really, to release some funds. So who have I gone for? I've gone for Harvey Barnes. Now, I've spoke about this guy in the last few videos, and he got a big mention in game week 2 after his game week 1 performance. He has some points to his name to back it up. scored 12 points, goal and assist in game week 2. Game week 3, he had a surprising blank, even though he looked the business, looked the part. And he's now my team. He's 7 million. He brought him in for Son, which released 2 million to add to the 0.5 million of funds. So that meant I could upgrade Mitrovic, who was really on the line and on the verge of leaving my team last week. I've taken a -4. Now, I spoke about patience last week, and I said that it might not be the season to take hits. At the same time, it's a strange season, so anything can happen. I'm going to just take a plunge and go with Danny Ings. He's playing West Brom this week. West Brom, as I've mentioned, conceded the most chances out of any team so far, and they've conceded the most goals on top of that. So at home to West Brom, I just really like the fixture. I know that the Saints have a decent run coming up too, so he's set and forget for the next 4 or 5 game weeks. I do have other problems in this team. Daniel Podence is flagged still. I have Walker Peters in the bench, so this is not a locked team at all by any means. I'll be keeping a close eye on the press conferences tomorrow, just to get some more information on who's potentially starting. Kyle Walker-Peters can be drafted in there instead of Podence. Ollie Burke, second sub. Hopefully he gets a start. Now, in terms of the captaincy, I'm continuing with the De Bruyne Salah rotation. So Salah got the captaincy last week. I'm going to go for De Bruyne, even though they both have juicy away fixtures. Villa have started all right. They've been defensively solid. Leeds, however, do afford their opposition a lot of space and a lot of opportunities as well. So I'm hoping that De Bruyne plays in that number 10 position again. He's got great, in terms of goal and assist potential, De Bruyne really does come out on top this game week, I feel. Interesting to see Salah started tonight in the League Cup. He got 60 minutes, and of course he's always a great option, but just going to go for De Bruyne this week. Stick to the plan, stick to the game plan. If you guys have any questions, concerns, transfer dilemmas, anything at all, pop them in the comments. I'll gladly get to as many of them as I can before the deadline. Deadline's on Saturday, usual 12 GMT. If you can roll a transfer, then do by all means. You've got the international break coming up. You've also got the transfer window closing on the Monday. So you could see a lot of new players introduced to FPL over the coming weeks. Good luck for game week 4, and talk to you all soon.